Committed, still favoured at 3-1. Forzando not far behind her at 7-2. Gavitat at 9-1, and they go 12-1 bar those three. There's Steve Cawthon. Sylvain Barbarossa, last year's winner, goes into stall 2. Number 24. This is Tranchard, the French invader, with Bill Shoemaker, who won the Besborough Stakes here yesterday, giving him his second winner in England, the other being at Epsom this year. Goes in nice and quietly, trained by Patrick Biancon. Number 3, Barbados, a useful performer, likes to come from behind. He's inclined to drop himself out, but a good horse on his day. Won at Doncaster for the second year running. That was at the March meeting. 16, one of the fillies, Committed. Number 8, hit a little bit warm, Grey Desire, goes into stall 16, going in pretty quickly. I think they're nearly all in. Let's join Peter.
Yes, that's it. Forzando giving trouble in the stall, but is away all right. And one of the early leaders is Keep Tapping in the centre. Hello Cuddles is right up there, being tracked by Forzando. Sylvain Barbarossa is on the very right of the picture, being chased by Diamond Cutter. And Sylvain Barbarossa, last year's winner, is in the lead at the moment on the stand side towards the right of the picture. Hello Cuddles right up there in the centre of the course. With also running fast is Hunter's Delight and Prince Remo. But it's Sylvain Barbarossa in the lead under the stand side from Hello Cuddles, Prince Remo, these two being tracked by Committed. Over on the far side, Hunter's Delight, Gavitat, well, they're also being chased by Grey Desire. Vardas has got a lot to do at the moment. They're coming down to the 2 furlong pole in the Coronation. Sylvain Barbarossa on the stand side, Committed coming there very strongly in the centre of the course. Princess Tracy's also well up there. Forzando's coming there strongly too. Prince Remo and Gavitat over on the far side, being chased by Hunter's Delight, but it's Committed who's taking it up now. Committed and Brent Thompson being chased by Edward Hyde on Celestial Dancer, and it's Committed from Celestial Dancer as they race into the closing stages. Committed going away from Celestial Dancer. Committed is going to win it well, and at the line Committed is the winner. Celestial Dancer is second. It's a photo with third between Gavitat and Princess Tracy, with, for me, Gavitat possibly beating Princess Tracy a short head, but Committed has won it. Celestial Dancer is second. They are the 1-2 in the Coronation race. So just to recap, first number 16, Committed, owned by Mr. Robert Sangster, trained by Dermot Weld and ridden by Brent Thompson. Second was number 6, Celestial Dancer, owned by Dr. Arcade Gunn, trained by Tony Hyde and ridden by Edward Hyde. And it's a photo for third place, and very close indeed, between Gavitat, number 1, and Princess Tracy, number 18. But Committed the winner, as we can review, with Julian Wilson.
Well, the race didn't go right for Forzando at all. That's him just about 3 from the right there in the front group. And as you saw at the stalls, he went down on his knees just before the jump, and he lost to 3 or 4 lengths. And now he's being carried over towards the stand side. But Committed has come through in the centre there with the white cap to win most impressively in the end, and you can't make can't make excuses really. Gavitat's run a fine race on the far side. Celestial Dance has also run the race of his life, following Brent Thompson on Committed through, and it's between these 3 now. Prince Remo just behind those, and the ones on the stand side, Sylvain Barbarossa and Forzando, dropping away. But here's Brent Thompson riding his first winner at the Royal Meeting. What a moment for him, with a filly superbly prepared for the race by Dermot Weld. Won by about 2.5 lengths from Celestial Dancer second, and a very close thing a little way back for third between Gavitat racing on the far side and Princess Tracy on the stand side. There's Gavitat just on the far side, and has he made it? I think so. And as you can see, Forzando very, very close indeed as well on this side.
So New Zealand bred Brent Thompson, who has a great record in Australia, returning on his first Royal Ascot winner. This filly by Hagley out of Mistanget, the 3-1 favourite for the Coronation. Last won by an Irish trainer, Willie Robinson, in 1980 with Carney. Vincent won it the previous year with Thatching. Noel Meade won it the year before that with Sweet Mint. And this, the first triumph in the race for Dermot Weld. This is Robert Sangster. leading in this ultimately very comfortable winner of the Coronation. Her success underlines how unfortunate Argosy probably was yesterday to be struck into early on and to finish lame, since he was the conqueror of this filly in the Kilrush Watergate Stakes at Phoenix Park. Here comes the outcome of the photo for third, and Gabitat is officially third, and Princess Tracy fourth. So the full 1, 2, 3, 4 in the Coronation. First, number 16, Committed. Second, number 6, Celestial Dancer. Third, number 1, Gabitat. And fourth, number 18, Princess Tracy. And the distance is 2.5 lengths and 4 lengths. Brown Rouse showed good judgment in forsaking last year's winner Sylvan Barbarossa in favour of riding Princess Tracy. At least he was in the frame, because Sylvan Barbarossa showed a lot of foot in the early stages, but was unable to maintain the gallop and was finally well out of the frame. So with Committed the winner, the full starting price is as follows.
First, number 16, Committed, 3-1 favourite. Second, number 6, Celestial Dancer, 20-1. And third, number 1, Gabitat, 9-1. First, Committed, 3-1 favourite. Second, Celestial Dancer, 20-1. And third, Gabitat, 9-1. Jackpot number was 116.
Absent Chimes is 5-4 on from 11-8 on, and it's 11-8 against Magic Mirror. The coach you see on the right of the picture just needing a little bit of help. He's not really playing up now, but he's just having a look, but allows himself to be pushed in. In goes Absent Chimes. Here's Peter O'Sullivan.
And that's it. They're all in. And Absent Chimes breaks very fast towards the right of the picture. Philip Robinson, who beat Lester Piggott yesterday in the Coronation, goes straight into the lead on the odds-on favourite Absent Chimes, being tracked by Lester on Magic Mirror. Then comes Tacky and Park towards the right of the picture as we see them, and Willie Carson on Kentucky Quest is just in behind Lester. But Absent Chimes making it as they pass the 3 furlong marker, well clear of Lester Piggott on Magic Mirror. Tacky and Park is under pressure. Fortune Quest chasing still Magic Mirror. Coming to the 2 furlong pole, and still Absent Chimes clear of Magic Mirror. Absent Chimes, Peter Robinson being challenged now by Lester Piggott on Magic Mirror, and it's Absent Chimes under pressure. Magic Mirror coming there on the stand side to tackle him. Magic Mirror, Lester Piggott taking the advantage now, and Lester's going to draw level with Willie Carson in the Ritz Club Charity Trophy as Magic Mirror strides well clear to win the Norfolk Stakes in very dramatic and comfortable style. And at the line, Magic Mirror is the winner. It's a photo for second between Kentucky Quest and Absent Chimes, but what an impressive winner. Vincent O'Brien's first 2-year-old runner here at Ascot since he won with the Coventry with Salinas, and what an impressive horse this Magic Mirror turned out to be. It's the 8th triumph in the Norfolk Stakes for Lester Piggott, and the result: first, number 6, Magic Mirror, owned by Mr. Stavros Niarchos, trained by Vincent O'Brien, and ridden by the man himself, Lester Piggott. And a photograph for second place. A very close photo between number 5, Kentucky Quest, and number 1, Absent Chimes. A very, very impressive colt this by Nureyev. Probably one of the unluckiest horses ever not to have his name enrolled as the winner of the 2,000 guineas. So here is how he came to beat Absent Chimes very cleverly in the oldest 2-year-old race of the Royal Meeting, reviewed by Julian Wilson.
Yes, well, he certainly won it pretty nicely. But Absent Chimes, he's had a terrific run for his money. But he's very much Epsom and Chester, and he really just hasn't quite got home here today. You can see in last place here is Kentucky Quest, and Kentucky Quest has probably made up 4 lengths in the last furlong to actually take second place off Absent Chimes. Leicester's waited his moment. He bounced him out of the stalls, only just lost a length and a half at the stalls, whereas he lost considerably more the last time he ran. He's chosen to come up to challenge on the near side of Absent Chimes. Philip Robinson's already gone for his whip in his left hand, pulls it through here most adroitly to his right hand, but Leicester's just had to change his hands to get this horse into overdrive. When he did so, he's just hung far a little bit there, run a little bit green, and also no doubt was feeling this very, very fast, firm ground. And Leicester's just, with hands and heels, asked him to stretch. He's pricked his ears there as the roars of the cheers of the crowd have hit him slap in the face. But you can see now he's quickly going 2-3 lengths clear. Leicester looks under his left shoulder, and the sight that he sees, if he's got that vision, is Willie Carson about 5 lengths back, driving furiously to try and snatch second place. But a coasting success for Magic Mirror, and if we run it on, it'll be very close for second there. I wouldn't like to separate those two.
Susan Sangster will be coming down to see this one with Robert. The Sangsters own several horses, have shares in several of the Niarchos horses and vice versa, but whether they have in this one, there is Susan, in fact, to the left, giving this very nice coat a pat, the 11-to-8 second favourite for the Norfolk Stakes, with which Lester Piggott first won in 1961, won it in 65, 66, 70, 75, 77, 83 and 84. A much happier Jerry Gallagher putting Magic Mirror's sheet on, much happier than he was yesterday after the surprise defeat of Argosy, for whom there were valid excuses, because he was, as Robert Sangster, Vincent O'Brien to the left, because he was struck into early on and finished late. The outcome of the photograph: second was number 5, Kentucky Quest; third, number 1, Absent Chimes. 4 lengths and ahead. So just to recap: first, number 6, Magic Mirror; second, number 5, Kentucky Quest; and third, number 1, Absent Chimes. And Lester Piggott now sharing top spot in the Ritz Club Charity Trophy with Willie Carson, both 2 apiece. But in fact, if they did tie at this point, Leicester would have a marginal advantage, having ridden 4 seconds as opposed to Willie's 3. So the score: Willie and Leicester 2 each, Ray Cochrane, Tony Ives, Tony Murray, John Reed, Philip Robertson, Brown Rouse, Bill Shoemaker, Greville Starkey, Brent Thompson and Tyrone Williams, all single scorer, and still plenty to play for, with, of course, the Gold Cup, our next race, in which Lester Piggott rides Prince of Peace, and the Wildenstein connection have replaced Joe Mercer by Bill Shoemaker on Bally 2. The Norfolk Stakes, first run in 1843 when it was known as the New Stakes, and first run under its present title in 1973, and won by the Irish for the first time since 1981, when Dermot Weld was responsible for Day Is Done. And the full starting price is as follows.
First, number 6, Magic Mirror, 11-to-8. Second, number 5, Kentucky Quest, 20-to-1. And third, number 1, Absent Chimes, 11-to-8 on favourite. First Magic Mirror, 11-8. Second Kentucky Quest, 20-1. And third Absent Chimes, 11-8 on favourite. 4 ran. The jackpot number was 206.
That's it. They're all installed for the 1984 Ascot Gold Cup, and they're running. And Pretty Picture, one of the first to show, with on the outside Neustrian, and Neustrian, the stable companion of Bally2, going on now from Pretty Picture and Caradar, then Fubiman de Tenu, then Gildoran. They're going a real good clip in the early stages too. Then come Or and Prince of Peace, and it's Pretty Picture who's taken it up again from Neustrian, then Fubiman de Tenu and Caradar, and Gildoran following them, and then Or and Prince of Peace and Condell, and the back marker is Bally2. Neustrian and Pretty Picture. Neustrian to the right. Pretty Picture and Gay Calloway again, the white cap, being followed by Caradar, Fubiman de Tenu, and then Gildoran, Or, Prince of Peace, Condell, and finally Bally2. So coming down to the winning post on the first circuit in the Gold Cup, with Pretty Picture leading Neustrian and Caradar. Behind them come Fubiman de Tenu, then Gildoran and Or. And then Lester Bigot on Prince of Peace, followed by Condell, and finally Bill Shoemaker in last place on Bally2. And they're still going a real good gallop, with Caradar having gone up now to the shoulders almost of Pretty Picture. Neustrian relegated to third, the intended pacemaker of Bally2. Then comes Fubiman de Tenu, then Gildoran, then Or. Behind Or, Prince of Peace, Condell, and a long way last now is Bally2. So they've passed the mile-and-a-half gate, racing down towards Swinley Bottom, and still Pretty Picture from Caradar. Then a long gap to Neustrian, Gildoran, Or. Behind Or is, and Fubiman de Tenu has been pulled up. Fubiman de Tenu is pulled up, and still Pretty Picture in the lead from Caradar. Then Neustrian, Gildoran, and Or. Then Prince of Peace and Condell, and Bill Shoemaker riding this distance for the first time, a long way last on Bally2. But Pretty Picture and Gay Calloway still making it from Caradar in second, Gildoran going well in third. Then comes Neustrian, behind him is Or, and behind Or, Prince of Peace getting a little bit nearer, then Condell, and about 30 lengths behind the leader is Bally2. Coming to the 7 furlong pole, Caradar goes up on the outside of Pretty Picture. Gildoran is still a good third. Then comes Neustrian, Or improving. Then Prince of Peace making a little bit of ground. Then Condell, and now Bally2 has made quite a little bit of ground, but got a lot to make. Coming to the 5 furlong pole, and Caradar has gone clear from Gildoran, gone second, and Or third. Pretty Picture 4, Neustrian 5. Then comes Condell 6. Then comes Lester Bigot on Prince of Peace, and Bill Shoemaker making ground fast now on Bally2. They're coming to the half-mile pole in the Gold Cup, and Caradar's in the lead from Gildoran, who's going well in second. Or is next, then Condell. Then comes Prince of Peace under pressure from Lester Bigot, and then comes Bally2. Racing into the straight, and it's Caradar in the lead from Gildoran. Condell for Allen making ground on the outside. Then comes Or, still very well in the picture. Then Prince of Peace under pressure, and then comes Bally2. They're coming down to the 2 furlong pole now, and as they do so, it's Gildoran who struck the front from Or in the sheepskin noseband. Condell for Allen coming there strongly on the right of the picture. Prince of Peace trying to get on terms, and it's a wide open race. Condell, Or, and Gildoran as they race up towards the line, with Prince of Peace still making ground on the stand side. Gildoran and Or and Condell. Gildoran on the far side, Condell on the near side, Or between horses. Gildoran is forging ahead as they come to the line. Gildoran has won it from Or second, and third Condell, 4 Prince of Peace, 5 was Caradar, 6 was Bally2, 7 and 8 were Neustrian and Pretty Picture. And so the result of the 1984 Gold Cup, first number 5, Gildoran, owned by Mr. Robert Sangster, trained by Barry Hills, and written by Steve Cawthon.
Kerman is the favourite though, and shortening again, 3-1 Kerman. Comanche Run and Executive Pride have gone out from 4s to 9-2. Head for Heights 5-1. Great Western and Rami 6-1. Sheer Heights 12-1. Mystery Tour 20s. High Debate is the same price, 20-1. Patrizio 50-1.
With the diamond, white diamond on the green colours. This is number 3, Executive Pride. He runs in the colours of Mr. Bertram Farstone, and Mr. Bertram Farstone, as well as having horses trained in Ireland and running in all over Europe, also is one of the leading owners in America. Executive Pride is a useful individual. He's yet to run beyond 1.25 miles. On his last start was runner-up behind Montelimar. That was in a Group 2 race at the Curragh last month. He saw the Curragh's stiff 1.25 miles out well on that occasion, so I think he'll have no trouble here at Ascot over the 1.5 miles. He won 3 times last year as a 2-year-old. He had enough speed to win over 6, and he also had enough stamina to go on and win over 7. He's got the assistance of Lester Piggott in the saddle today. Lester in cracking form, and looks like he's going to give everybody a run for the Ritz Trophy once again this year. Big crowd here, as you can see, have come down to see the 10 runners for this Ascot Derby, as Julian calls it, very popularly known as the Ascot Derby, and it's rather a shame really, because the absentee in the race is Rainbow Quest, who ran that super race in the French Derby, went 3rd, which would have really stamped this, because Rainbow Quest is one of the best 3-year-olds, I think, racing at the moment. Let's have a look at High Debate on his way down to the start in the hands of John Reed. There's a really fluent mover, a good old-fashioned type of horse this, by High Line, out of a council mare, and High Lines usually improve with time. High Debate has run twice this year at Newmarket, over 1 mile and a furlong. That was when 2nd, half length behind Trojan Fen, which is pretty good form, because when you think Trojan Fen came out and won the opener here, the Queen Anne Stakes, in good style. He then went to York for the Mercadante, where he never really ran his race, and wound up 9th of the 15 runners behind Claude Monet. He had several of today's runners in front of him on that occasion, but he did have a pretty rough passage through the race, and it was reported that when he got home, High Debate had been struck into and had rather a nasty lump on one of his legs. Head for Heights, and Willie Carson just goes past High Debate. Head for Heights reappeared this season, again in the Mercadante at York, where he just got to the front going into the last furlong, but he couldn't hold his challenge of either Claude Monet or Hatim on that occasion, and was beaten short head and a length. Dick Hearn then took him to France for the French Derby, where I think he disappointed terribly. I thought he was going to run a really top-class race there. In fact, he could only beat 2 of the 17 runners home, but I think that form's all wrong, and I don't think he travelled at all that day. He's a really lovely individual by Shirley Heights. There you can see them on their way down to the 1.5 mile start. They went down a furlong, they canter back past the pack stands to the 1.5 mile start, which is just round the top end of the course, where they are then faced with that run down into Swinley Bottom. A really tested 1.5 miles here, because usually the pace is on to get a good position. That's down the run down the hill to start with, and this is inclined to cut some stayers' throats if they overdo it. So they have to show that early speed until they get into Swinley Bottom, and then the jockeys try and get a breather into them before they turn out of Swinley Bottom into the Old Mile. And then they have to start the race in earnest, because really here at Ascot, they have to be somewhere in the first 4 when they straighten up for home. Over at the start, Comanche Run, trained at Newmarket by Luca Comani, by Run the Gauntlet out of Volley, who was by Ratification. Luca Comani, in fact, trained this colt to win his last start. That was over today's distance. A maiden at Doncaster when beating Shanazar by 7 lengths. His only other race was in the Mercadante Stakes, once again at York over 1.25 miles, where he could only finish 10th of the 14 runners behind Claude Monet. But that was over 1.25 miles, and this good-looking colt is bred really to appreciate 1.5 miles. You see there Darryl McCarg, who is another American jockey to come over here, and a very good rider he is too. He's bid in for his 9th winner of the season. A good judge of pace. He's perhaps finding it a tiny little bit of trouble to adapt to the English style. Nevertheless, a really strong rider, also a very good pace rider, and I think he'll adapt to Ascot pretty good. Good-looking individual, but Run the Gauntlet, that American sire, usually stamps his horses really well. dark colours with the lighter V. There's Great Western, one we haven't seen. He's trained at Arundel by John Dunlop, by Hittite Glory out of Ruddy Duck by Dick de Drake. So Dick de Drake, a very good French horse of a few years ago, in fact, come over to run in our derby at Epsom. And I think, perhaps Peter will remind me, I think Ray Johnson rode Dick de Drake, but throwing my mind back, I might be wrong. Great Western won his first race of the season in the Warren Stakes at Epsom in April, run over the full Derby distance when beaten at Tallaght by half a length. John Dunlop took this good-looking colt for the Italian Derby when he finished only 6 behind Wellmore. His 2 runs as a 2-year-old were over 7 furlongs at York. He goes in nice and quietly. Bruce Raymond in. Let's have a show of betting.
And the only movement for Great Western is outwards. It's opened at 6s, now 7-1. Kerman the favourite, 100-30 now. Comanche Run and Executive Pride and Head for Heights, 5-1. Great Western and Rami, 7-1. Sheer Heights is 12s. Mystery Tour and High Debate, both 20-1. And Patrizio has gone from 50-1 to 66-1. Full show.
Tony Ives about to go in on Rami, and in fact John Hamner reminds me that Dick de Drake was ridden by Max Garcia, the late Max Garcia. He's 13-2 Rami at the moment from 7-1. Max Garcia, that very good French jockey who unfortunately and tragically was killed in a skiing accident in Switzerland. Going into stall 4, Comanche Run. The handlers doing their usual great job. Mystery Tour should be one of the last to go in. Kerman, 100-30 favourite. Comanche Run, 5-1 with Executive Pride and Head for Heights. Let's join Peter.
Thanks, Jimmy. And High Debate to go, and then Head for Heights. High Debate. Very tall horse, this. Being eased into his stall. Then Head for Heights. Willie Carson, the last in. Under starter's orders. And they're away and running. Mystery Tour just a little bit slow from the stalls. Patrizio on the inside. Head for Heights and Comanche Run, and then Executive Pride and High Debate and Rami. Sheer Heights and Kerman on the outside, and then Great Western, and finally Mystery Tour. And Head for Heights going on to join Patrizio and just to take a very marginal advantage. Head for Heights from Patrizio, Comanche Run, Executive Pride and High Debate. Then Sheer Heights and Kerman and Rami on the inside, Great Western and Mystery Tour. Willie Carson and Head for Heights in command at the moment as they race down to the mile pole in this Edward VII Stakes. Head for Heights from Patrizio and Comanche Run. Then Executive Pride on the inside of Sheer Heights. Then comes Kerman on the outside of High Debate. Then Rami on the inner, Great Western. And finally, Mystery Tour. Past the 7 furlong pole. Head for Heights from Comanche Run. Willie Carson from Darryl McHarg. Then Patrizio. Then Sheer Heights. Then Kerman going well in 5th. Executive Pride moving smoothly on his inside. Just in behind them, High Debate. Then Great Western, Rami, and Mystery Tour. Racing to the 5 furlong marker, still Head for Heights from Comanche Run and Patrizio and Sheer Heights and Kerman, and behind them Executive Pride, High Debate and Great Western and Rami and Mystery Tour. Coming to the half-mile pole, still Head for Heights, who's made just about all the running so far. From Comanche Run in 2nd, Patrizio is 3rd, Sheer Heights 4, 5 and 6 for Executive Pride and Kerman. Racing into the straight now in the King Edward VII, and it's still Head for Heights in the lead. From Comanche Run 2nd. In 3rd is Patrizio, then Sheer Heights, then Kerman, then Executive Pride on the inside. Coming to the 2 furlong pole now, still Head for Heights from Comanche Run in 2nd. Kerman making ground. Executive Pride just in behind him, coming down to the furlong pole. Head for Heights, who's made it all so far from Comanche Run, but Kerman coming with a good run on the stand side. Rami making ground over on the far side. Executive Pride trying to get into the picture. Head for Heights now from Kerman on the near side. Comanche Run between horses, racing into the closing stages. It's Head for Heights from Kerman as they race up towards the line. Head for Heights is going to win it. And at the line, Head for Heights with it. It's a photo for second between Comanche Run and Kerman. Rami was fourth. Then Patrizio and Executive Pride and Great Western. And behind them was Sheer Heights. And then Hyder Baton. Behind Hyder Baton last was Mystery Tour. And so the result of the King Edward VII Stakes. First, number 5, Head for Heights, owned by Sheikh Mohammed, trained by Major Dick Hearn and written by Willie Carson. And it's a photograph for second place, and a very close photo indeed between Comanche Run and Kerman. Between number 2, Comanche Run, and number 7, Kerman, with Rami fourth. But here's how Head for Heights, so disappointing in the French Derby, came good to enable Willie Carson to win his third King Edward VII Stakes and to go clear in the Ritz Club Charity Trophy, reviewed by Julian Wilson.
Yes, and a remarkable performance, because not only did he lead all the way, but he ran pretty free for the first 2 or 3 furlongs. He was always pressed by Comanche Run in second place there, and there's 3 green shirts behind. The first to crack is Sheer Heights. Walter Swinburne coming with his run on the outside, and Kerman. On the wide outside, that's Lester Biggett and Executive Pride, who didn't seem to get the trip. But Willie Carson's pumping away in front, holding off challenge after challenge. Tony Ives coming with a good run on the rails, on Rami as well. And here Comanche Run looks a big danger, and Walter Swinburne looks a definite threat on the outside. But Willie Carson going for everything now, and every time he asks, this son of Shirley Heights responds. The horse who won the Chesham Stakes last year, trained by Richard Hannon, and now coming back to race on fast ground, whereas in the French Derby, of course, it was soft ground, and that's why he was so disappointing. He answers every call that Willie demands of him, and Kerman runs on too late, and perhaps just a little bit inexperienced still, to snatch second place nonetheless on the line from Comanche Run.
Dick Hearn, having won this with Open Day in 1982, with Bastomi in 1981, now responsible for the 5-to-1 winner in 1984, having won it very much earlier in his career in 75 with Sea Anchor. Willie Carson associated with both Open Day and Bastomi. Now the leader in the Ritz Club Charity Trophy, the only rider at the meeting so far to have ridden 3 winners. The outcome of the photo yet to be announced. King Edward VII Stakes, a long established highlight of the meeting, having been instituted in 1834. Second was number 7, third number 2, second number 7 Kerman, third number 2 Comanche Run, with the distances 1.5 lengths and ahead, and officially placed fourth, number 11 Rami. So just to recap the full official result of the King Edward VII Stakes. First, number 5, Head for Heights, owned by Sheikh Mohammed, trained by Dick Hearn and ridden by Willie Carson. Second was number 7, Kerman, owned by His Highness the Aga Khan, trained by Fulk Johnson Horton and ridden by Walter Swinburne. And third, number 2, Comanche Run, owned by Mr. Ivan Allen, trained by Luca Cumani and ridden by Darrell McHarg. Fourth was number 11, Rami. So swift compensation to Sheikh Mohammed for the defeat yesterday of his recent acquisition Pebbles, as well as So Fine. And this one of the most distinguished races to win at the meeting. So the full starting prices and the afternoon's results to date.
First number 5, Head for Heights, 5-1. Second number 7, Kerman, 7-2 favourite. And third number 2, Comanche Run, 5-1.